Welcome back to the Iron Sights podcast. This is another episode of After Dark, and we're here with the beautiful Kayley Gunner. Kayley, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you.
Thank you.
We got connected through some close mutual friends.
Yes, the Cook Boys.
Yeah, who were just on. So
they're amazing. If you need a good trainer, hit up the Cook Boys.
Yeah, shout out to the Cook brothers, man.
Body.
Jordan and Callaway. Yeah. Two of my very good friends. Love those guys. Mm-hmm. And don't get to see them enough. But when they said, hey, we have this really, really great friend of ours that you should have on the show because she's got a really great story. Yeah. And just generally a really great person. I was like, well, if you say so, guys. So,
thank you, guys.
Yeah, I trust them 100%.
They lied to you.
I guess we're going to find out, right? Let's dig in a little bit. So I guess just kind of jumping right in here, I don't know much about you, right? And the only thing I really know is kind of what you've provided me in the short time that we've known one another, which is very short.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of information you can gather from, about your background and kind of where you're from because you're in the entertainment business, you're in the adult film business.
Definitely, yeah.
So if you basically run a search or if I get into your Instagram or whatever, I'm seeing things that are very much about what I would consider the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
Exactly. Yep. I try to keep my military life completely separate, except the fact that I was a machine gunner in the military. So I'm excited to be here and talk more about that because my fans don't hear about it a lot, honestly.
Yeah, so let's get into it. So let's back it up even a little bit further then. So tell me about you grew up in the islands. I do know that, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
My parents were both in the service in the Army, and they ended up retiring in Hawaii. Okay. So I grew up on Oahu. It was an amazing experience. I definitely am spoiled. I definitely can't surf anywhere else.
Okay.
But yeah, growing up there was interesting. It definitely gave me an insight on different cultures and inclusiveness, and just I did skip school a lot though growing up to go to the beach, so that's another reason I ended up in the military. So
I lived in Hermosa Beach
pretty
for a couple of years, and my daughter at the time was very young. She was just turning like 2 and 3 years old, and we had neighbors and friends that had older kids, and I literally lived like a block and a half back from the water. It was an amazing experience. If you've lived near the beach, and I don't have to describe it to you, it just provides and so many different things. But what I did hear from parents that had older kids was that it's really tough just kind of in general to
raise a kid. A beautiful place like that. And honestly, the school systems over there aren't really, they're a little behind compared to the mainland. So you learn a little slower than most kids do. So it kind of feels like a daycare. So when you're skipping class, you don't really feel like you're skipping out on anything. You're just kind of...
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's some tea.
Well, I mean, again, huge distractions there. I mean, I'd want to be at the beach there every day.
Yeah, there's bus stops outside of every high school. So kids just hop on board with their bikinis and board shorts and head out.
Yeah, the teacher didn't cancel class today, so I'm going to go ahead and do it for her.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you're growing up on Oahu, and again, going back to sort of school and being a kid, I imagine that presents some other challenges too. I mean, Oahu's gorgeous. Most of us that live on the mainland would feel like we want to live there. We would want to grow up there, or, get old and die there or whatever.
Oh, definitely.
But I can imagine it presents some challenges, particularly for a young girl growing up.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. And especially like, there was a lot of racism out there too, just because I wasn't like Hawaiian or other kids too. Like if you're Hispanic, it's just, you deal with that too as a young kid. I was one of the only white kids in my school, actually, now that I think about it, which is crazy.
That's interesting.
But it kind of opens your eyes up. So I'm very inclusive. Like in my industry now, like there's so many different races, and you just have to be super inclusive with everybody. So that raised me up and gave me some good morals, I think.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
You get exposure to things, particularly
that kids shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But besides that, it's a beautiful place. The people are so kind and so sweet when you meet the right people, and everyone is just like your family out there.